Hi, fellow Bible readers. We are on day 44 and we are in a new book, Leviticus 1 through 4. So, where we left off, God is giving Moses all of the instructions about the tabernacle, and in Leviticus, it continues. So, in Leviticus chapter 1, God tells Moses about how they should present offerings. He gives explicit instructions for Aaron and his sons on how to properly prepare and the proper steps that they need to take in order to give the burnt offering. So he basically tells them, how to pick the animal, how to cut it, how to clean it, how to burn it, what to do with the body parts. So he also gave different instructions based on the type of offering. So if it's a bird, he gives how to give that burnt offering. If it's a goat, if it's a young bull, if it's a sheep, he gives instructions on how to properly prepare and present those animals as burnt offerings to the Lord. And then God realizes that not everybody will have an animal to present or offer all the time. So he gives the option of how to present grain offerings to him. And basically, the extras goes to Aaron and his sons, the priests, and it cannot have yeast in it. And he says if your grain offering do have yeast, save that for the what is it called? The first spring, the first fruit offering. I'm like, the first spring. No, the first fruit offering. So if you do have a grain offering and it just so happens to have yeast in it, then save that for the first fruit offering. And he also says how to give the offering based on if it's baked, if it's in the griddle, if it's cooked, if it's not cooked, those things. So he is very detailed in these instructions. And then in chapter 3, God gives rules about the fellowship offering and how to give that offering. And what I found interesting is that he says, splash the blood on the side of the altar. And I'm thinking to myself, that old blood, animal blood, probably has like a strong smell to it. And he's just like, yeah, you kill it, you slay it, you do this, and then you toss the blood on the altar. And I'm just thinking to myself, this has got to smell really bad. Because first of all, they still in the desert. These people are still in the desert. So it's hot. And the tabernacle moves with them. I'm just thinking this is not a pretty sight to have blood slung. I don't know. Have the blood everywhere on this altar. But yeah, those were the instructions to splash the blood on the altar. And then in chapter 4, God gives the rules for an offering, a sin offering. So if you've sinned, this is how you atone yourself. And I noticed it went from splashing the blood in front of the altar or onto the altar to, you dip your finger in the blood and you make like seven drops of the blood. You sprinkle it 7 times in front of the curtain of sanctuary, and then you put some blood on the horns of the altar of the fragrant incense, and then you pour the rest of the blood at the base of the altar. So at least you pouring it and not splashing it, so it's more neat, in my opinion. But yeah, so then he goes down the list for each type of people who sin. So if it's the anointed priest, they have to offer a young bull. If it's a leader, they have to offer a goat. If it's an individual community member, they should bring a female goat. And then if anybody just want to bring it, if they could bring a lamb, like if anybody bring a lamb, it has to be a female lamb without defect. I feel like I'm missing one. If the whole community sins, then they should bring a young bull. And then he gives instructions on like the elders have to touch the head and do all this and all that. I'm so happy I live after Jesus came, died, and rose again, because this is a lot. And I don't know where to get these animals from. And I don't really like the sight of blood. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, and then in one of the chapters, he gave the explicit instruction to not eat fat or blood. And I really be liking, I like fat back. I really like fat back. And I don't really like blood. Like, I don't like blood, but, or the sight of blood, but yeah. I was like, Dad, they can't have no fat. Like, even on my corned beef, like, I like my corned beef to have that little piece of fat when it's sliced. That's just telling on myself. But yeah, I'm happy I live when I do, not when they did. So yeah. As always, this Bible is good to me, and until next time, see you next time. And if you like my shirt, you can purchase one at lbprintings.com, and you can use the code JUSTICE, JUSTICE, for a discount.